Hello, my name's Paul and welcome to my channel, Talking Music, where every song has a story. On this channel we like to pick a well-known song and get behind the story of the song, come up with some interesting facts, information and some secrets. And today's song, the one we're featuring, is Madonna and Like a Prayer. I think Madonna loved this song and the controversy that played out around it. It was her kind of thing, a song that really stirred up the pot. And it started up so innocently. It was more the video rather than the song that courted all this excitement. Like a Prayer was written by Madonna and Patrick Leonard, whom she teamed up with a number of times in the late 1980s because she enjoyed working with him and was happy with the songs that they were creating. Madonna had said of their songs they were not of a frivolous nature and had some serious content to them, and she liked that. Like a Prayer was initially written about a passionate girl who sees God as the only male figure in her life. Now, that was the initial storyline. By the time the song was completed, and particularly the video, that storyline had changed somewhat. It was intended to appeal to her adult audience, getting away from the likes of Like a Virgin and Material Girl. The song features a gospel choir, which in itself was a marked break from her earlier material. In the late 80s, the cola wars were heating up. Coca-Cola versus Pepsi-Cola. Pepsi were chasing a mission of being the choice for the younger generation, and it had forged partnerships with the likes of Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston, and had now signed a $5 million deal with Madonna, which would feature her new song, Like a Prayer, in a 2-minute commercial for Pepsi-Cola. The commercial was overseen by Pepsi's ad agency and was called Make-A-Wish, and showed Madonna watching an 8-year-old, we believe, version of herself, street dancing and enjoying life at a birthday party, blowing out candles in a cake. This commercial was promoted during the Grammy Awards on February the 22nd, 1989, and then again on March the 2nd it aired on primetime television throughout the world, 45 countries, including in America, of course, where it was aired during the extremely popular The Cosby Show. And this commercial was teased in the weeks and days leading up to it.
No matter where you are in the world, on March 2nd, get to a TV and watch Pepsi's 2-minute Madonna commercial, featuring her latest release, Like a Prayer, for the very first time.
Pepsi claimed that 250 million people saw the ad at that one time it went out on March the 2nd. Now, how could a song possibly fail with a marketing push like that? Up until now, the song was innocent. Radio stations around the world added it immediately to their playlists, so they'd be at the forefront of ongoing pop culture with the world's most successful female singer, and MTV clamoured for the video to play as well on their station. But, and this is where you see Madonna's work at close hand, the video was not an extension of the commercial Pepsi played on TV with an 8-year-old Madonna character at a birthday party having fun. Madonna's marriage to the actor Sean Penn had been failing and had irretrievably broken down, but he'd been extremely influential in encouraging Madonna to express herself, reveal her inner feelings, and say what she wanted to say. In fact, the previous year, 18 months, had been a difficult one for her career-wise, as her nascent movie career had stalled with films like Shanghai Surprise and Who's That Girl failing. Madonna had an idea for the video Like a Prayer when she was composing the song back in the summer of 1988, and it was far from the Pepsi cutesy 8-year-old girl dancing around version. When she'd recorded the song in September of '88, she listened again and again and again to it and envisaged the video about the story of a woman living in the south of the US in love with a black guy who sings in a choir. She's obsessed with him, so she goes to church all the time. So you can already see now how the initial beginnings of the song were starting to change. Now, this was just about as far as Madonna had gone with it. Mary Lambert had got involved as the video director for the song, and it was with Mary Lambert and Madonna knocking their heads together that the story became bigger and darker, with racism, bigotry, and religious symbolism. Madonna certainly didn't shy away from what would be an obvious reaction, and she went for it. What she did with her own song and the video for her own song was literally hijack what Pepsi Cola had done in the video for her song, and she reinstated something much less frivolous. Madonna had found what she wanted to say with this video. Sean Penn would have been proud of her, no doubt. The song itself was innocent, but coupled with the video it took on a whole new meaning. Co-writer Patrick Leonard confided in Madonna that he was uncomfortable with the video images and how they brought a different meaning to some of the lyrics. We're talking about burning crosses, which is very Ku Klux Klan, also effigies, religious effigies, bleeding palms, and a scene that's likened to Mary Magdalene kissing the feet of Jesus Christ. And all of this, through video direction, was sexually charged, and the images of the video brought a certain innuendo to the lines of the song.
The video deals in shocking imagery, I mean, you don't see a half-clad woman dancing in front of burning crosses all that often on television. Nobody could really have expected her to make a video that looked like this, that uses a largely black cast, that uses a lot of religious imagery, that uses a lot of loaded symbolism. And that's what's riling people up. And that's, I guess, when you get right down to it, video is an art form, if you will, that exists to jolt people. And what it generally tries to do is jolt them right into the record stores.
The song's recording in the September of 1988 was also difficult. Madonna wanted it to have a strong gospel element with a choir. Musicians Andre Crouch and Robert Noriega were signed along with their choir to provide the vocals. Now, they were particular who they worked with, and they scrutinised the lyrics to find out what the intention of the song might be. They liked what they heard, and they liked the content of the lyrics, so they recorded the vocals, which would be overdubbed onto the song at a later date. The problems only arose when they became aware of what the video intended to be like. There were also problems on the day with percussion too, when the first-choice drummers cancelled on the day of recording, which didn't go down well with Madonna. She was also quite forceful with her producing technique, as she'd had success producing True Blue, and she wanted everyone to know who was in charge, and that first time round, it wasn't a fluke.
Working with her in the studio was great fun. She used to brighten up every day. She had this charming little catchphrase, "Time is money and the money is mine!"
The video was shot in Hollywood and also in the hills of San Pedro, also in California, in January of 1989. It was directed by Mary Lambert, who had worked on the Material Girl, Like a Virgin, and Borderline videos. Madonna wanted it to be more controversial and more provocative than anything she'd ever done. Mary Lambert's direction of the video made the whole thing much more sexually charged. The actor, Leon Robinson, was hired to play the role of the saint and the statue, though he only knew that he'd be playing the statue in post-production because the statue that they were using at the time was deemed by Lambert not to be a very good likeness to the actor Leon Robinson himself. The video tells the story of Madonna witnessing a woman being murdered by a group of white men. A black man also witnesses the murder and runs to help. The police arrive and arrest him, and the murderers steal a threatening look to Madonna and leave. She then goes to a church and sees a statue that looks like the man arrested, and she prays to the statue, which starts to cry. Madonna appears then to fall into some sort of dream, and now the statue has turned into the man arrested, and she's dancing wildly in front of burning crosses, with kissing scenes, with a statue that's come to life. She wakes up and is emboldened and goes straight to the police to tell her truth. When Andre Crouch saw these proposed images for the video, he pulled his choir from the clip. Crouch was also a respected priest who had written a number of Sunday morning standards for church. A choir does appear in the video, but they are miming the Andre Crouch choir's vocals. Madonna had to audition smaller choirs who were willing to appear on what people were now beginning to conceive as a rather salacious video. So Madonna got the controversy she wanted. Religious groups were absolutely outraged, with the Vatican itself condemning it. Pepsi too faced a backlash. They faced a protest, and they dropped Madonna from her contract. They never aired their commercial again either. Madonna and MTV were the big winners though. Conservative folk were uncomfortable about the video, but they were not essential to the Madonna fan base. In fact, they were the ones her fan base despised, and her fan base loved the video. And this is rather ironic because the Madonna fan base were exactly the ones that Pepsi Cola were trying to court and align themselves with. Madonna had put her art before any corporate indulgences. In other words, art before money, and her fans loved her all the more. MTV played the video almost endlessly, and more and more and more viewers tuned in to see what all the fuss was about. Pepsi had 2 more commercials planned with Madonna and was going to sponsor her Blonde Ambition tour, but they dropped all association with her. Funny though, she did get to keep her $5 million. She's obviously got good lawyers. And Pepsi's angle was that people couldn't really separate the commercial from the song and the song from the contentious video. Let's have a look at the charts and see how it fared. It was number 1 in over 20 countries, and where it wasn't number 1, it made number 2. In the 2 big markets, firstly the UK, it went to number 1, 25th of March 1989. It zoomed up the charts, in at number 2. Then the following week it was at number 1 and it stayed there for 3 weeks. Ended up being the 11th best seller of the year in the UK for 1989. Black Box, Ride on Time, was the best seller that year. It sold 800,000 copies in the UK this year, and that means there were a lot of very big sellers in 1989 in the United Kingdom. On the American charts, it was released at the same time UK and US, but the American charts takes a little bit longer to rise to the top. It took 6 weeks to get there, finally making number 1 on April the 22nd, 1989, and it stayed there again on top of the American charts for 3 weeks. Ended up being number 25 for 1989 on Billboard's end-of-year chart. But she sold 1 million in the States with Like a Prayer, and the song turned to gold. The bestseller that year was Chicago and Look Away. Some interesting tidbits about the song itself. This is Madonna's most popular song worldwide. She herself loves it and the impact it made. It's kind of spiritual to her, but whenever there's a Madonna fan poll, it generally comes out on top. You know, Madonna's favourite songs, vote for them. Like a Prayer normally comes out at number 1. Also, the cover of the single had the letters MLVC with the letter P falling away. They represented Madonna's initials, Madonna Louise Veronica Ciccone, with P for pen, her soon-to-be ex-husband, falling away. The video was ranked number 2 behind Michael Jackson's Thriller in Billboard's Videos That Rock the World, and it won the Viewer's Choice Award on MTV for 1989 for Best Video. And when accepting the award, Madonna thanked Pepsi for all the controversy.
And I'd like to thank Pepsi for causing so much controversy.
The story of Like a Prayer is really the story of the video. Gospel and pop join forces here with this song. It dealt with taboos. She balanced the sacred and the secular to her liking, but to many others' dislike. This song could be the musical embodiment of Madonna. Loud, fearless, having its say, standing out from the crowd. You could say all those things about Madonna, the artist. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people do. That's what happens when something is truly popular. A lot of people like Madonna. A lot of people don't. She's sold over 300 million records. She's the most successful female artist of all time. The facts tell the story. Like a Prayer, Madonna. And that's it for another Talking Music, where every song tells a story. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. We've got plenty more for you to watch and enjoy. All you need to do is subscribe to the channel. You can see the subscription button on the video now. All you need to do is click it, and remember, it's absolutely free, of course. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video. So until that time, I do wish you well. Bye-bye.